And now it's time to tickle your pleasure buds. Print Screen, the Art and Technology Festival, is opening its gates once again this week in the Mediatek space in Cholon. And this week, the festival has a very intriguing subject, the connection between technology and pleasure. With us in the studio is Prokop Bartonicek, one of the artists who will present in the festival. So we're going to talk with him about how to make art and tech come together and make us feel the pleasures of life. But first, let's see a piece he made called Now. Good evening.
Hello, Jason.
Hello. So what did we just see? Tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, there was a piece of mine called Mosaic Now. It's like mirror mosaic, let's say. It was street art using sunlight and reflections of mirrors.
You moved them. What was the technology behind it?
The technology behind it was a piece of software which was calculating the deformations of needed mirrors, mirrors which being needed to reflect it correctly, and yeah.
So you programmed the mirrors to move correctly? Is that?
Not myself. I just found the idea and produced the piece. And a colleague of mine, Paolo Rusnak, he's a member of my studio called PB Lab. He programmed like this very nice piece of software, which was actually probably you can see it as well later on the making of the video. So, well, these mirrors are shaped exactly to a particular moment and location of their mirrors, of their location. So it just works one particular moment, and it can't work like next 2 days or. So you have to calibrate it for the next day, and then it all get together and create this word.
What philosophy do you have behind that? I mean, why would you create something like that? What are your thoughts?
You mean something like that temporary?
Yes, for example.
Well, probably like it's not that heavy philosophy behind that. Just this always like tickled me. Like I really like this. If things are very simple and they are strong, then in the end. So, of course, like playing with sun, this is something like not very new. You know, like it's happening millenniums. But of course, this procedure, which before was like procedure very long, like people building like cathedrals, like playing with light. They've been like really building it like years, and now you can like develop and mathematically find a way how to make this like key moment and create it. So yeah, well, I like to make simple way strong things.
Interesting. And do you often use technology in your works? I mean, is it part of what you do?
Well, yes. I always try to use the technology somehow hidden way. You know, like I necessarily don't need the technology being in the main role, like very visible. It's, for example, like this. In this case, you just see a mirror, like you just see a wall, several mirrors, and you are there in the right time. But the whole procedure, which is quite complex, is not visible.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your project called
ILER. It's a cooperation with my very good friend and colleague Benjamin Maus from Berlin. We've been studying together and we are friends many years. And well, we've been always wishing to cooperate together. I'm running quite a nice place in Prague called Ex-Post. It's a former post office where I have a gallery and workshop, and where I invite other artists, especially from the experiment design area, to cooperate and work and exhibit. And well, we just, first of all, like, we are both interested into industrial automation and machines, of course. And nowadays, when people are a little bit like losing the idea of craftsmanship, and they are a little bit like losing the manual capabilities, and which somehow create this kind of ignorance to your environment. We don't so much care about like things, how they've been made or how complex it is, the value of things. So we wanted to create like this quite complex machine, which is doing like very complex procedure for probably nothing. Yeah, and we built it in 2 months.
What does it do?
And the name ILER is because the stones which this machine is collecting and sorting is from a river called Iller, from south of Germany. And yeah, well, this machine scans around 7,000 pebbles and started to sort it in front of the visitor automatically, and it's quite meditative. And
well, in a gallery?
It was in gallery, it was in Ex-Post, and it's going to be at Ars Electronica this year, so we are very proud about being there.
Interesting. Now let's talk about what you're going to show in Print Screen.
Print Screen invited me. Their topic is like pleasure. Yeah. Well, so they asked me to bring my older work from 2008. I originally made this piece during my studies at UDK Berlin, Universität der Künste, and well, now after many years I rehabilitated again with Paul Rusnak and Tomislav Arnaudov from the studio PB Lab, and well, this machine is a sex toy which is connected to the world's biggest porn server, and is vibrating. It vibrates and shines according to how much people globally watch porn. So it concentrates this anonymous, global anonymous interest into the pornography to the object for one person. Well, that's a very simple idea behind that.
What exactly needs to happen for it to vibrate? I mean, how many people need to be where?
Well, it's just like comparing like values, like let's say like views per second, and then I'm like comparing these numbers, and I'm changing the shape of the vibrations, and like the value of the vibrations and LED shine. Well, and. Well,
and the festival people can see the toy. Are you going to talk about it? What's
going to try even, but who knows? But well, the whole festival is about pleasures, but pleasures is very much as well about like addiction. So I'm very much looking forward like the discussion panel which is there, and like we will sure like not talk about just pleasures and addictions in case of good food or.
Why do you connect pleasure and addiction?
Why? Because like every pleasure ends in kind of addiction, and then that's why it's like pleasure, you know. It's yeah. Well, there's connection between pleasure and addiction. Of course, otherwise it's not pleasure.
Okay.
So
I mean, we can talk about. Yeah.
No, very shortly. Like it's not just about like good food. It's not just about like addiction to sex or drugs. It can be as well like about political power or power. So, well, which is sometimes like ruining all good in my country or here or everywhere. Like people are addicted.
Understand. So whoever wants to see more of you and see the toy vibrating, they can see you at Print Screen.
Thank you
very much for being here.
I'm really like your city, and thank you very much for having me and
You're welcome.
Czech centers. Thank you.
Okay, moving on.